British broadcaster Sir David Frost died of a heart attack last night. He was 74. Frost was legendary for his interviews of everyone from the Beatles to Tony Blair. But it was his interrogation of Richard Nixon that he'll be most remembered for. Earlier today, I asked CNN's Piers Morgan for his reflections. Piers Morgan, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Ryan.
This morning, when you learned of David Frost's death, you said on Twitter that he was a hero of yours. Tell us why he was a hero.
I think for anybody in the world of television interviewing, he was the peerless interviewer. Sir David was somebody who, for the last 4 or 5 decades, had interviewed, I think, every living British Prime Minister, every living American president, almost every world leader, and, of course, famously, the great interview with Richard Nixon, in which he got him to finally apologize to the American people. And I think that for anyone in the world of journalism and television journalism, Sir David was the best.
That Nixon interview is the one, of course, that's most famous to American viewers. But are there other interviews that stand out to you that maybe American viewers didn't see or can now look up on YouTube that also showed off his skills?
There are some you can't look up on YouTube. There was a famous one with Rupert Murdoch in which it's reputed that it was so confrontational. I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s, that Rupert Murdoch made sure it could never get re-aired and didn't speak to David Frost for the next 30 years. So I don't know if that's all completely true, but that was certainly the rumor. He was a very ruthless interviewer in his early years. He did some memorable interviews with a lot of people. But I come back to the Nixon interview because I'm not sure how much people realized just how much David Frost invested in that personally. He couldn't sell it to the American networks because it was deemed checkbook journalism, because he was paying Richard Nixon for that interview. So he actually raised, he told me, over $2 million, this is back in the 70s, to go and sell it virtually station by station around America, getting his own sponsors in each individual state and territory. And in the end, he was able to pay Nixon himself, I think, got $600,000. David Frost made a small fortune himself, and the rest is history. But that was a real piece of bold, risk-taking, innovative journalism and television broadcasting, the like of which I don't think anyone has ever done before or since.